Hello everyone, it's Nita and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be going through my 2024 reading journal. This journal is the Suki notebook from Notebook Therapy with the mushroom design. I think this is A5 size, although it seems to be like a tiny bit larger than my other A5 size journal, so I don't know what exactly is going on with that. I specifically got this journal because I wanted one that had the more like velvety texture as opposed to the traditional like linen covers that Notebook Therapy and Archer and Olive come out with. I just have found from the previous time I bought a linen cover from Archer and Olive, I just really didn't like the texture, so I wanted to find a high quality journal that would still meet my needs. And this one so far I've really enjoyed. Obviously I think the mushroom design is really cute, and the color is very similar to the journal I had last year. So I'm excited to use it for the rest of this upcoming year. So I'm just going to go ahead and start flipping through my intro pages for the journal, as well as showing you my setup for January. The first page in this journal is my cover page, which I haven't done too much decorating for. I just decided to use a couple more like mushroom stickers to go for the overall theme of the journal. And then my first spread here is my kind of like cover page as well as like a reader's bio. Again, this was based on a design that I initially had seen on Pinterest, which I will try and remember to link the original creator down below. That design was more so for like the reader's bio, and the reading journal section over here, I kind of combined a couple different images I found on Pinterest. Down here, I'm going to print out some photos of my favorite books. I just haven't gotten around to it. But my overall color scheme for my intro pages was a combination of brown, tan, muted teal, and muted pink, which are kind of a combination of all of my favorite colors. Very much like a more girly version of light academia. So my next spreads here are my reading goal spreads, as well as a description of my rating system. My goals for this year are to read 50 books, which I definitely think I can do, since around 52 books is one a week. And in 2022 and 2023, I hit that goal. I also want to read 20 books from my own TBR, which I think I also probably hit last year. I also overall just have a goal of purchasing less books because right now my bookshelves are at max capacity, and I honestly don't think I have the space to get another bookshelf. So I'm really just trying to read through as many books that I currently own, and just trying to save a little bit more by not spending money on books I can get through other sources. So I want to use the library a lot more, as well as just buy less books. And on a separate note, I do want to finish a lot of the series I've started. I feel like I started a lot of series in 2023, and specifically I have a lot of like trilogies that I just have to read the last book in the series, so I'm definitely going to prioritize that going forward. On the other side, I kind of wrote out what each star ranking really means to me. It's very rare that I give a book less than 2 stars, so I only wrote out the descriptions from 5 stars to 2.5 stars. I think I also want to write down here like the meanings for each of the caw pile acronym. I don't use caw pile in the traditional way of ranking each of the categories and then creating like an aggregate score that then will determine my star ranking. That's just not really how I rate books. Oh my god. Are you gonna be on the video? Are you gonna be on the video? Oh my god! George! Okay, bye. But I do think caw pile is a really helpful solution in terms of like thinking about what aspects a book can have and how successfully those aspects were achieved in the book. This next spread here is where I'm going to track different stats across all of the months. I'm going to choose a couple different categories that I track digitally. Things like pages read, hours listened, maybe like the top genres that I read across different months, which usually are like fantasy, romance, sometimes historical, just so I can have it all in one page. Like I said, I have a digital version where I track all of these things, but I thought also having it physically would be a good option, just to have a place for me to remember it in the long term. This next spread here is my 24 books I want to read in 2024. I've already talked about all of these books in a different video. I kind of made a little bit of a mistake in that initially I thought I could put 5 rows down on one page, so I was able to put all of the books on one side. But it turns out the standard size that I print out my book covers was a little bit too big for me to fit all of them on one side. So I do have a couple just like hanging out down here. Overall, I think it still works, and this is pretty close to my original vision for the spread. I have a space down here where I'm going to write like the star rankings of each of the books that I read, and then I'm also able to mark off on this list by highlighting each of the boxes once I finish the book. So yes, I'm excited to make more progress on this spread over the course of the year. This next spread over here is my series tracker. I still have quite a few more series I have to write in on this spread. I mostly on this side just focused on series that were relatively short. All of these boxes that are highlighted in gray are the books that I read in the previous years. And then when I start making progress on series in 2024, I will color them in a different color. Overall, I really like the design of this spread. I really like the color scheme I went for. I really particularly like this butterfly sticker. I think the pop of orange just helps like bring the whole spread together. This next spread I have here is my new releases tracker. Basically, I have it divided into different months, and then I'm writing down the original release dates of the books as well as their titles. And then all of the ones I have starred are books that I've already read. This is kind of also like pulling dual purpose with like being an arc tracker, just to kind of see what books are coming up in the future months, to maybe think about which ones I want to request arcs for. I've talked about pretty much all of the books in this spread in my 2024 new releases video. So if you're interested in hearing more about them, I would definitely check out that video after this one. This next spread here is my 5-star read spread. I really wanted a central location to put all of like my favorite books from the year. So I decided to make this spread, which I'll eventually will print out cover photos of each of the books that I give 5 stars. This spread again was based on the photo I had seen on Pinterest, although I think they were tracking something different with the title being in the center. I just kind of wanted to mix up my spread design instead of having the title on the top like I usually do. And overall, I really like the design of this spread as well, with this kind of printed letter washi tape on the sides. This next spread here is very plain so far, but it is going to be my Katie is Reading Patreon buddy read spread. I'm a member of Katie is Reading's Patreon, and each month she chooses a different book to buddy read with her Discord. I did a spread like this in my 2023 journal, and I'm planning on continuing a similar setup and design as that one. But obviously the year just started, so I haven't read any of the books that are going to be picked out for this year, so this spread will become more filled out as the year goes on. Next spread I have here is a book buying tracker. I have a digital version of this as well, but I thought it would make like the act of buying a book a little bit more serious if I have to also write it down physically. I'm also very interested on if I buy a book before I've read it or after I've already read it. I just find in general I prefer to buy books after I've already had a chance to read them, just to ensure that the books on my shelves are ones I actually like. So I thought it'd be interesting to use this red section, both as a way to make sure that the books I'm buying I'm reading, but also to see which books I buy after the fact that I've read them. This next set of spreads is all of the books that I have read in 2024. After I finish the book, I usually will write down the title here before I go ahead and print out the cover photo. I originally got this design from Books with Chloe, and it served me well. I really like looking through my completed spreads of all the books I've read in years past. So far I've only filled out a couple sections, but I did leave a lot of space later on in my journal to have up to 100 books, which is kind of like an unofficial goal for me to read each year. And I've gotten closer and closer each year, so this year in 2024 could be the year that I read 3 digits worth of books. After we go through this, we will eventually come to my January spread, which is this one right here. I decided to base this spread off of another Pinterest photo I saw of someone that did this kind of like fireworks design as their like cover photo for January, and I thought it was really cute and very different from my usual style. I didn't use any washi tape or stickers, which is pretty rare for me in my journal. I just did everything as like doodle designs, as well as using my mild liners. And I think it turned out pretty cute. I don't know if I'll do a similar design like this in the future, but it definitely was fun to try out. And in here, I'm doing the same structure that I did in my 2023 journal. I have lightly drawn in a bookshelf here to be all of my read books for the month. And if I need space, I'll draw another one down here. I also have some of the books on my TBR for January. And this blank space up here is where I will fill in after the month. I usually will put the total number of books I've read, as well as like the amount of pages I read and hours listened. And we'll also draw like a little pie chart to track a random statistic from this last month. So that is a look at my reading journal for 2024 so far. That is going to be it for this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, please consider liking this video, commenting, or subscribing if you aren't already. Let me know down below if you enjoy my journal content. It seems like so far you guys enjoyed my flip through of my 2023 journal. So if the response continues to be good, I probably will do other journal updates throughout the year. But that is going to be it for me today. Thank you guys as always so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you all in the next video.